It begins with a moment so small that most people would walk past it without a second thought. An elderly woman, slowed by age and circumstance, stands alone in a place where she doesn't quite belong, her world feeling suddenly too big and too fast. She doesn't shout. She doesn't create a scene. Instead, she makes a subtle, intentional gesture, a rescue signal learned long ago, one meant for moments when fear has no voice. In her eyes is hesitation, because reaching out like this requires courage. She knows the risks of being ignored, of being misunderstood, of drawing attention when attention itself feels dangerous. Yet isolation leaves her no choice. Years of independence have narrowed into a single decision: trust that someone, somewhere, will recognize what she's asking for. Her body language carries the weight of quiet desperation, shaped by a lifetime of being careful, of not wanting to bother anyone. This isn't about panic, it's about survival wrapped in dignity. She isn't asking for heroics, only safety, only a moment of relief from the invisible threat pressing in around her. And as she holds that signal just long enough, the room continues moving, unaware that a life-changing moment is unfolding in silence. And then something unexpected happens. The signal doesn't reach a uniform, a trained professional, or the kind of person we instinctively label as safe. Instead, it's noticed by someone sitting at the edge of the room, someone most people quietly avoid. A Hell's Angel biker, broad-shouldered, tattooed, carrying the weight of a reputation built by headlines and assumptions, is the one who sees it. This is the kind of man parents warn their children about, the kind of presence that makes people clutch their bags a little tighter. Even the woman herself may feel a flicker of doubt the moment their eyes meet. But what matters is that he understands exactly what that gesture means. He doesn't question it or dismiss it. Experience has taught him to read situations quickly, to sense when something isn't right. For a brief moment, the world seems to pause as two very different lives intersect. Society has already written a story about who he is, and it's rarely a generous one. Yet in that instant, labels fade away. All that remains is a silent exchange between someone asking for help and someone who has chosen to notice. And that choice changes everything. What happens next is driven by instinct, not image. The biker doesn't look around to see who's watching, and he doesn't pause to weigh how this might reflect on him. He understands that moments like this don't wait for permission. Without drawing attention, he shifts his posture, scanning the space the way someone does when they've learned to survive by reading danger early. He knows stepping in carries its own risks, misinterpretation, escalation, even becoming a target himself, but those calculations never rise to the surface. What matters is that someone needs help now. His movements are deliberate, controlled, and calm, not aggressive or theatrical. He places himself where he can block, observe, and respond if necessary, creating a buffer without turning the situation into a spectacle. Years of experience have taught him that true protection often looks quiet. There's no show of force, no dramatic confrontation, just a steady presence that signals awareness and readiness. In choosing to act, he pushes past the identity the world has assigned him and answers a simpler call: the responsibility of one human recognizing another in danger. And in that moment, courage isn't loud or reckless, it's measured, intentional, and deeply human. Instead of turning the moment into chaos, he does the opposite. There's no raised voice, no threat in his tone, no need to prove anything. He uses calm authority, the kind that comes from knowing exactly who you are and what you're capable of. With a few carefully chosen words and a steady presence, he shifts the balance of the situation. People like this understand that control isn't about fear, it's about awareness. He positions himself so the woman isn't exposed, using his body language to draw attention away from her without escalating tension. Every move is calculated, not to dominate, but to de-escalate. Street experience has taught him that violence is often the least effective tool, and restraint is the real strength. Those nearby begin to sense that something has changed, even if they can't explain why. The air feels different, safer. The threat loses its power because it's been seen and quietly neutralized. What's remarkable is how ordinary it all looks from the outside. No hero pose, no dramatic resolution, just a situation guided back towards safety by someone who knows how to stay in control when others might panic. And in that calm, the woman finally breathes again. As the tension fades, something deeper begins to surface, something far more uncomfortable than the moment itself. What lingers is the quiet realization of how wrong our assumptions can be. The man who stepped in wasn't supposed to be gentle, patient, or protective, at least not according to the stories we tell ourselves. Yet there he is, guided by a personal code shaped by loyalty, respect, and an unspoken rule that the vulnerable are not to be ignored. The rough exterior, the patches, the reputation, all start to look like armor rather than menace. It becomes clear that compassion doesn't always wear a friendly face, and honor doesn't always announce itself politely. This single act exposes how easily we confuse appearance with character, and how quickly we assign fear where understanding belongs. The woman sees it, too, in the way he maintains distance once she's safe, in the absence of any expectation for gratitude. He didn't act to be praised or remembered. He acted because it was the right thing to do. And in doing so, he challenges everyone watching, and everyone listening, to reconsider who we label as dangerous, and who we overlook as capable of extraordinary humanity. Because sometimes, the truest measure of character appears where we least expect to find it. When it's over, there's no dramatic ending, no applause, no headlines waiting to be written. The woman is safe, and that's all that truly matters. But something inside her has shifted. For a long time, the world may have felt indifferent, even unkind, a place where vulnerability goes unnoticed. In this quiet act of protection, her faith in people is gently restored. She walks away carrying more than relief, she carries a renewed belief that help can come from unexpected places. And for those who witnessed it, even indirectly, the moment leaves a mark. It reminds us that goodness doesn't always arrive in familiar packaging, and heroes don't always fit the roles we assign them. Sometimes they ride in on reputations we've been taught to fear, guided not by applause but by principle. This story isn't just about an elderly woman or a biker, it's about all of us and the choices we make when we see someone in need. Do we look away, or do we step forward? Because in the end, humanity reveals itself not through who we claim to be, but through what we choose to do when it matters most.